What's good, everybody? It's your boy Brandon Scott again. The Washington Wizards lose to the New York Knicks 121-105 in DC, led by 39 points by Julius Randle. So today we are going to talk about how did the Wizards lose this game, and get into the first unit and the second unit and break it down for you guys. And then we're going to do a preview for Monday night's game against the Oklahoma City Thunder. So let's get to it next on Locked On Wizards.
You are Locked On Wizards, your daily Washington Wizards podcast. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
What's good, everybody? It's your boy Brandon Scott again, and I appreciate you guys making Locked On Wizards your first listen every single day. We are free and available wherever you get your podcasts and on YouTube, part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every single day. And today's episode is brought to you by Jase Medical. Empower yourself when you purchase a Jase case, providing you with a personal supply of up to 5 antibiotics that treat 50 plus infections. Get yours today at jasemedical.com and use promo code Locked On to get $20 off your order. That is JASE Medical.com. So everybody, definitely we were supposed to do a live preview last night, but my voice, man, was going out, so I couldn't really talk. So I had to delay it to this morning, but I definitely wanted to get this recap and preview out for you guys today. I'm heading out to FedEx to the Commanders game against the Cowboys today, so I'm trying to get my voice right, but I definitely wanted to get this video out for you guys. So definitely today, the Washington Wizards lost to New York Knicks in typical fashion, 121-105 in DC. Julius Randle drops 39. So let's get into it, shall we? Now, looking at the overall stats, obviously, the Wizards were down 20 at the half. But not much change in the second half. I mean, we did outscore them 32-28 in the third quarter, but it was even in the fourth. But again, if you look at overall stats, we shot, or they shot 49% for the field. We shot 47. From 3-point, 38 for them, 35 for us. Rebounds, we actually won the battle of the rebounds by 2 and offensive rebounds by 1. So, we did commit more turnovers, 20-14, but points in the paint, we're even at 52. So how do we lose this game? Simple. Effort. We showed no effort. We had no energy on the defensive end or the offensive end. Now, there were a couple players. Now, Kyle Kuzma did have a good game, and Denny Avdia had a really good game, but we're going to get into it. But looking at it from a team perspective, man, effort. They capitalize in more strategic ways, right? If you look at another stat to look at is this: second chance points. They had 20, we had 9. So they capitalized on their offensive rebounds more than we did by getting 20 second chance points as opposed to our 9. So it came down to effort. It came down to coaching. It came down to game planning and adjustments, and the fact that we didn't make any adjustments after the half, and their plays were more strategic and more important. Like I said, from a statistical standpoint, very even, but they outplayed us. There was no effort. I mean, there was a play in the first half where, I say it all the time. This team has slow defensive rotations, and in the first half, everybody was looking around as Julius Randle's in the corner hitting a 3. And then there's many times where they drove the lane, everybody's looking around, there's no communication on the defensive end. There's no accountability on the defensive end. I mean, the rotations are so slow. The closeout, the shooters, if they even happen, are slow. I mean, in transition, we get beat. You got players like Gaff, and like I said, I like Gaff, but daggone it, man. I mean, he's taking his time to get down the court. This team has officially checked out. This team, if you're a veteran, they're waiting for the deadline. If you're a young guy, you're also waiting on the deadline so you can get more minutes and trying to showcase whether you're part of the equation going forward for this team, or maybe you're a trade candidate down the line yourself. But everybody's tradable. And I think the players know that because they have officially checked out. I mean, it is hard to watch. Both games in Cleveland, the effort was non-existent. And then you're at home, and obviously there's more Knicks fans than Wizards fans. It happens in DC. I mean, if you're not familiar with the DC area is a melting pot of government workers and people who come here to work. A lot of people are from outside the area, so more often than not, not so much Nats games, but mostly Wizards and Commanders games. You were outnumbered by the other team's fans, and there was boos tonight from our own fan base, and the Knicks fans took over. I mean, so it's just another game where different game, same script, no effort. Defense is horrible. Rebounding's horrible. And even tonight, we had a pretty good night rebounding. But again, second chance points kill us. So getting into the starting five, like I said, this was a struggle again tonight. Now, two people to kind of showcase. Now, looking at Knicks real quick. Obviously, Julius Randle dropped 39 points on the Wizards, shooting 13 for 23. And Brunson, 33 points, shooting 10 for 18 from the field overall, 8 assists, and shooting 4 for 8 from 3, including 9 for 9 from 3 or from the charity strike. So Brunson and Randle single-handedly handled the Wizards. Now, looking at the Wizards and their stat line individually, let's go with the most positive news. Kyle Kuzma, 27 points. Now, he did shoot 10 for 21, including 4 for 10 for 3. But, we know what his MO is. Kuz is a consistent source of 20-plus points. Now, how many shots does it take to get there? That is a really good question. Now, he takes a lot of shots to get up 20-plus. That has been, he's a consistent source of points. Absolutely. But, it often comes at the expense of a lot of shots. Looking at Denny Avia in 33 minutes, 23 points, 10 rebounds, 6 assists. He was 4 assists away from a triple-double, 2 steals. Look, I'm not even mad at Denny. Really good showing. 9 for 13 for the field, 2 for 4 from 3. Very, 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 very aggressive driving the lane. I like what I saw from Denny Avia. He was a definitely bright spot. Him and Kuz. I get it. Shot selection at times. Can Kuz be a real relying on that 3-point shot? Yeah, but 27 points, still had a good game for us. And getting back to Denny, I thought he had a really good game, y'all. He drive the lane. He used his left hand on a few times, finishing at the lane. You're definitely seeing him evolve offensively. So I'm not even mad what I saw from Denny. But looking at the rest of the starting five, man. Tyus Jones, 11 points, 8 assists. The assist numbers are definitely there where I want them to be, but 4 for 13 for the field, 2 for 6 from 3. Jordan Poole, again, another underwhelming game from Jordan Poole. He has definitely just cooled down from his time in Golden State, man. He's just not that guy that he was in Golden State. 4 for 10 for the field, inning and 10 points for Jordan Poole, 1 for 5 for 3. I believe he's officially checked out too. And really, he, out of everybody on the roster, he can't check out because he has no value right now. So he is not being moved at the deadline. So I definitely want to see Jordan Poole get a little more dog in him because, look, you're going to be in Washington to at least the end of the year. So you have to pick it up and definitely boost your value if you indeed want to be moved elsewhere or if you want to be part of the foundation going forward. But I definitely want to see a lot more effort from Jordan Poole. And then rounding out the starting five, Daniel Gafford, 6 points, 12 rebounds, 3 assists, 1 block, 1 steal. And again, a very underwhelming performance from Daniel Gafford. Looking at his counterpart, Hartenstein, 8 points, but 19 rebounds. 19 rebounds. Okay, let's be, I'm going to be 100 right now, man. Hartenstein's a backup. He was Mitchell Robinson's backup. So everybody who says that, look, it's kind of harsh to say that Daniel Gafford is the worst starting center in the NBA. Okay, fair enough. But he gave him 19 points to a backup. So if you're a backup and you're giving him 19 rebounds to a backup, what's that tell you? The effort. Gafford, again, I'm gonna stop saying this. Yeah, I like Gaff, man, but the effort is non-existent. The effort is non-existent, y'all. This lethargic defense where you're just watching people. The Knicks killed us with ball movement. Let's be real. Ball movement killed us. They have ball movement. It was a lot more fluid. It destroyed our rotations as far as rotating on the defensive end. Very often our guys are sitting there watching them shoot. And it's just like, Gaff is standing there watching them shoot. That Julius Randle 3-point shot in the first half in the corner, the rotation was terrible. No communication on the defensive end. And Julius Randle sits there. He had enough. There was a shot by Jalen Brunson that he bounced the ball one time and still had enough time to get the shot off. No effort, no care in the world. And, it just, like I said, I'm going to get into the second unit and break down a lot of the young guys in the second unit. But looking at the starting five, yeah, Kuz, he led the way with 27 points. But like I said, we know what his MO is. And Denny Avia, was the bright spot for the team. Denny played well. Denny definitely showed what he can do on the offensive end. He's definitely evolving. But, as far as Denny, man, 2 factors, right? Confidence and consistency. That's what I want to see from Denny. You got the bag. We know you can score. We know that you can add that element to your game, right? Now, defense, he does need to step it up a little bit more, but defensively, he's still a really good defender. Elite, I don't see that right now, but he's a good defender. But offensively, he is looking better. But I'm looking for consistency, right? That's what I'm looking for from Denny. So, rounding out the starting 5, very hard showing from the starting 5. So next, I'm going to get into the second unit, and then we're going to do a preview from Monday night's game for the OKC Thunder. But before we do, tonight's episode is brought to you by the Jase Case. I know we come to sports to escape for some of the crazy realities of real life. Lord have mercy. But can we talk just for a minute about preparing for real life? According to the FDA, pharmacies are running out of antibiotics like amoxicillin right in the middle of the worst flu season in over a decade. This is scary, especially for children and elderly people. I can't imagine a more helpless feeling than, my grandmother, my grandfather getting sick, or one of my kids. So if one of my kids got sick while a supply chain issue kept them from a life-saving medication they needed, I would be very, very upset. So thankfully, we'll be okay because of Jase Medical. The Jase Case is a pack of 5 different antibiotics to treat a long list of bacterial illnesses, including UTIs, respiratory infections, sinusitis, skin infections, among others. This stuff can really happen to any of us. I'm trying to tell you, it's that time of the year, man. Listen to my voice. Me and my guy, the real off, man, we've gone through our fair share of sicknesses, man, because there's always something going around, especially if you got kids that go to school. So visit jasemedical.com and complete your physician encounter. It will be reviewed by a board-certified physician, and your medications will be dispensed by a licensed pharmacy at a fraction of the regular cost. It's never been more important to be prepared than today. Go to jasemedical.com and use promo code LOCKEDON to get $20 off your order. Locked On has launched the first ever national sports 24/7 streaming channel on YouTube. Locked On Sports Today is here for you 24/7, covering the top sports stories of the day. We look at experts of Locked On, plus our national shows covering every league. Go to Locked On Sports Today on YouTube and subscribe to the first ever national sports 24/7 streaming channel. So let's get into the second unit. Now, again, guys, we can get into the second unit, but overall, team-wise, it's effort. It's effort. When I say effort, it's just they talk about building a culture, right? But what is culture? Culture is playing the right way, playing to the end of the game, playing to the last whistle, playing all 4 quarters, playing for the name in the front, not the name in the back, playing to win. Look, if there's a talent gap, I get it. If you play and you still lose, and you play hard at it and you still lose, I get it. But that is culture. We don't have culture here. We have a squad that is half veterans ready to leave and half young guys ready to actually get minutes. And nobody cares except for a couple of the young guys. Bilal cares. Kispert cares. Denny cares. Kuzma cares because he's put up numbers, but eventually he's going to be trying to go to a contender. But most of the team is checked out. So, yeah, let's go ahead and get into this second unit, everybody, because like I said, I am very passionate because it is, I get it is a rebuild, but it's also getting old. The effort part to me, especially when you're getting booed at home, shows that this fan base, look, this is a very loyal fan base. DC is a sports town. Now, do we get overshadowed by other sports towns like New York and Philadelphia, and obviously maybe Boston because we're East Coast city? Yeah. But, I mean, this is a sports town. Going back to the Skins, I can't say the full name, but going back to their former name, 3 Super Bowl titles, man, very, very loyal following. I mean, if the time of the Bullets, they had a very loyal following in DC. The list goes on. The Nationals have a big list goes on. This is a sports town. So it blows your mind that this team right now is just a lack of effort, man. This fan base deserves better. And like I said, a lot of us, man, are prepared for the rebuild. But you got to play hard. You got to show up. So anyway, let's get into the second unit. Bilal Coulibaly had his moments, but very underwhelming night. 27 minutes played, 4 points, 3 rebounds, 3 assists, shooting 2 for 5 from the field, over 2 for 3. So defensively, he was solid. Offensively, not his best night. DeLon Wright, again, very underwhelming. 16 minutes, so he's definitely still ramping up to get more minutes. I'll come back from injury, but 2 points, 3 rebounds, 3 assists, 1 for 6 from the field. Kispert, not too bad at 14 minutes. 8 points, 3 for 4 from the field, 1 for 2 from 3. Muscala, 1 point, 1 rebound, 0 for 4 from the field, 0 for 3 from 3. So the one bright spot on the second unit is again, I'm going to bring up two guys that definitely need playing time after the deadline. Jared Butler and Emery. Now, Emery, not his best night, but he only played 3 minutes. So he never had time to really get going. 0 for 1 for the field, got a rebound and 1 assist. But Jared Butler, again, in 3 minutes, 8 points, 2 assists, 3 from the field, and 2 from 3. Look, y'all, Jared Butler and Eugene Emery need to get minutes after the deadline. These two guys can play. They need to get minutes. We need to see what we got in these two guys because they got dog in them. They got the effort factor, and they are ready to play. They're ready to earn the next contract. And that's the type of player I want on this team. Guys are going to fight for the spot. Guys are going to fight for the minutes. Guys are going to fight for that contract. Guys that aren't checked out. So definitely, Jared Butler again in only 3 minutes, 8 points. And there's usually a stat line you see from Emery. Comes in 3 to 5 minutes, provides quality minutes, and usually gets around 8 points, 3 rebounds, couple assists. So, rounding out the second unit, everybody. I mean, Johnny Davis got a basket, but at this point, I think that this organization is pretty much checked out on Johnny Davis. Now, could he get minutes after the deadline, after a lot of these dominoes have fallen as far as these veteran contracts? Yes, but confidence. I mean, we talk about confidence with young players. Denny is a player that, relies heavily on his confidence. Daniel Gafford is a player that relies heavily on his confidence. Most of the players rely heavily, especially young guys, rely heavily on their confidence. Now, Bilal's one of those guys where he's confident regardless, man. I mean, he's 0 for 7. He's still putting out effort. And you can say the same about Denny Avia. Corey Kispert, when the shot's not dropping, he is now learning to cut more, use that basketball IQ. So I definitely like to see him trying to contribute when his shot's not falling. But that's it, man. So we're going to go ahead and round it out. This was a total, I'm not going to say a total team loss because from a statistical standpoint, we rolled with the Knicks. Their ball movement killed us on defensive rotations, and we just didn't care. Those were the two factors that lost this game at home against the Knicks. They are so much better. Their ball movement was immaculate, and we just don't care. We don't care. There was no care in the world. Nobody's even trying to do anything, especially on the defensive end. So, like I said, changes need to happen. In the offseason, we need to evaluate head coaching. There's been names put out there. Juwan Howard from the University of Michigan, former Washington Bullet / Washington Wizard, could be a candidate. But obviously in the offseason, me and my guy E, we are going to go over we're not going to go over head coaching candidates until it's official, if it happens that Wes Unseld Jr. is indeed not the coach anymore. But why is he coach? I'm not going to do that, man. But I definitely think there's options out there if he indeed is not the coach going forward. But changes need to happen. Let's be real. Changes need to happen. We got a new front office now. Changes need to happen, and it needs to start with the head coaching position. We need to go ahead and look, everybody's tradable. Let's go ahead and get a lot of these veterans off the books. We need to go ahead and start rebuilding because right now we're in a transition year. We need to start rebuilding, and that means getting a lot of these veterans out of town, and that means finally evaluating a lot of this young talent. And it starts with Denny. It starts with Bilal. See what we got in Kispert. See what we got in Johnny Davis. Go into the draft. Try to rebuild this team. But it starts with culture. And where does that start with? Head coaching. It starts at the head coaching position. If your players have checked out, what does that say about the head coach? What does it say about discipline? What does it say about holding people accountable? What does it say about the name on the front, not the name in the back? What does that say? What does that tell the fan base when people spend hundreds of dollars in a bad economy, in an economy that is really going downhill, where people are hurting to get groceries, people spending money to go out here and watch you play, and then you turn around, you don't care? What does that really tell people? Let's be real, man. What's that tell people? People are hurting right now. People in the DC area, people are on a worldwide basis right now are hurting to even provide groceries. And people are still showing out and buying tickets, spending hundreds of dollars where it could go to other places personally. And you don't show up. That is a slap in the face of this fan base, man. And it's not on ownership. It's not on ownership. Not this time. Is it on the front office? Maybe a little bit, because while they've made all the right moves 95% of the time, the lack of center depth and the fact that they went ahead and I get it for a peace of mind and let West kind of feel comfortable, but I thought that giving him that fourth-year option was really premature. And they should have spent this year evaluating head coach, because when your players don't care to the point where they're getting booed at home, what does that tell you? What does it tell you? There's no discipline in his locker room. This locker room, he's officially lost his locker room. And I hate to say that. I really do, because I like Wes. I like Wes, and I want to see him succeed, but he's lost the locker room. He's lost it. And you have to look at the head coaching position at the end of the year, if not sooner, because this team is abysmal. This team is probably one of the worst defensive and rebounding teams I've seen in DC since I've been on this earth. It's terrible. It is terrible. We were better defensively under Nick Young and being in DC. We were better with JaVale McGee in DC. We were better with Kwame Brown in DC. At least they cared. They may not have been the best players. And in the position of JaVale McGee, how many rings does he have? So, I mean, he's put himself in the best position to succeed and contribute on contending teams. So you can't really throw no shade on him. I mean, there's no effort at all. No care in the world. We don't care. We're just watching people shoot. It's abysmal. In this team, the city deserves better, in my opinion. So yeah, this is another really bad showing. So we're going to go ahead and get into a preview for Monday night's game against the OKC Thunder. SGA and Chet Holmgren are rocking in the 202 on Monday. But before we do, tonight's episode is brought to you by PrizePicks. So you're probably wondering, what is PrizePicks, Brandon? Well, let me tell you. PrizePicks is the largest daily fantasy sports platform in North America. They're the easiest and most exciting way to play daily fantasy sports. It's just you against the numbers. Instead of battling thousands of other sharks and other players and pros, you can pick more than or less than 2 to 6 players and their stat projections and watch the winnings roll in. I'm trying to tell you. With the basketball season here, you can now pick combo projections across football and basketball from the Specials League, a league created specifically for combo projections that includes 2 more players from different sports or leagues. For example, LeBron James plus Travis Kelce and Taylor Swift at a 10.5 combo of 3 points made and plus receptions. That is definitely something I'm trying to roll with. Want to play alongside some of PrizePicks' favorite players like rapper Meek Mill and comedian Andrew Schultz? You can now find community plays under the promos tab of the app to view and entries from some of the biggest names in PrizePicks community each and every week. PrizePicks even offers a reboot policy that your entries stay in play even if one of your players get injured. For football and basketball games, if your player gets injured and exits the game in the first half, does not return in the second half, that player is rebooted. PrizePicks is the only daily fantasy sports platform with an injury insurance policy, which is big. So all you got to do is go to prizepicks.com/LockedOnNBA and use promo code LockedOnNBA for a first deposit match up to $100. And again, all you got to do is go to prizepicks.com/LockedOnNBA and use promo code LockedOnNBA for our first deposit match up to $100. So let's get into the preview. Beating a dead horse. We know about effort and all the issues. So let's get into the preview. And I will actually be at the game on Monday night covering the team from the press box. So definitely appreciate all the love with Locked On Wizards gaining a lot more capabilities, man. Me and my guy, the real Ed Oliver, we have attained press credentials. So man, we have a lot more opportunity to get a lot more content for you guys. Definitely a lot more access to practices and shoot-arounds, a lot more access to press conferences before and after regular season games. So we're very excited because we can provide a lot more content to you guys, a lot more perspective, a lot more behind-the-scenes look at the Washington Wizards, man. So definitely. But I will be there. So if you're there, definitely let me know on my Twitter handle, which is below. And we can definitely do a meet and greet. I would definitely like to meet you guys. I'll chop it up with you guys. So again, I will be at the game on Monday night, and definitely tune in because my guy, the real Ed Oliver, will be doing the live recap. So definitely come out and show support to my guy, my boy, because he will be doing a live recap after the game. So getting into a preview for the Washington Wizards game against the OKC Thunder, man, this is a starting 5 in Oklahoma City that this team's going to challenge in the West. Now, are they ready for a championship run? I think they're kind of like Minnesota, where playoff experience shows. And I think that their lack of experience is going to be the one factor that is going to keep them from winning a title. But OKC, man, they're on their way. They have a nice squad. I mean, rounding out the starting 5, obviously SGA, man, Shai, Gilgeous, Alexander, man. Or Gilgeous, I'm sorry. SGA is a MVP candidate, in my opinion. He is a guy who definitely has to be top 5 in MVP votes, man, because he has been playing out of this world. He has finally reached that all-star level, that superstar status. I think the SGA is going to be a heck of an assignment for Tyus Jones or Jordan Poole. I think he's going to be a heck of it because of his height, his size, his ability. He's going to be a tough cover. Looking at, Josh Giddey, a taller 2-guard, a guy who can cause problems, matchup problems. Again, Jordan Poole, that's going to be a matchup problem. Looking at Lou Dort, a shorter player, but a defensive 3-and-D player, a guy who's going to give he's going to be on. I'm telling you right now, he is going to be all over the place. So that's one matchup that I kind of get into keys to development. I think Denny, because of height, I think it's a matchup that he needs to. I want to see him be a lot more aggressive at the offensive end. Definitely, I think that due to height, with Denny being taller than Lou Dort, I definitely think that it's a really good matchup for Denny. But I want to see him drive. I want to see him drive with confidence, drive with power. Man, I definitely want to see him more aggressive driving the lane because I think it's a favorable matchup. Now, yeah, Lou Dort is a 3-and-D guy who can lock down on defense. But I think due to height, I think that Denny has an advantage here. And then rounding out Jalen Williams and Chet Holmgren. This front court versus ours is Chet Holmgren is going to test Gafford. And and all due respect to Gaff, man, but this is a matchup where you could look, PrizePicks, definitely, FanDuel, wherever you bet, definitely bet on Chet Holmgren getting 15 plus rebounds. Let's be real. So definitely put a bet in for 15 plus rebounds for Chet Holmgren. And you could probably say the same. I'm definitely looking at probably 10 rebounds from Jalen Williams because let's be honest, man. Jalen Williams is going to be a lot for Cruz to recover. And with a team that is so bad at defense, and a team that struggles on the perimeter defense, a team that struggles in interior defense, transition defense, defensive rotations, defensive communication. I mean, this team is going to give us the smoke, man. Let's be real. So I'm not even going to get into a prediction. I think Oklahoma City is going to win this in an easy fashion. But a lot of matchup problems on this team, man. I mean, we have a fight ahead of us. Now, a couple things I'm looking at their second unit. Isaiah Joe, Aaron Wiggins, Kendrick Williams, and Casey Wallace. I think our bench matches up well against theirs. I think this is definitely a game where I want to see Bilal definitely drive the lane. Definitely do not be hesitant to shoot that jumper. I want to see a lot more aggression on the offensive end. I want to see that dog offensively from Bilal because defensively, he's got it. Offensively, I think this is a game where he can eat. I think this is a game where you're definitely going to see our bench be the more productive unit, in my opinion. Looking at Corey Kispert and let me get it out. Bilal Coulibaly. So I definitely think the bench can definitely match up well against OKC, man. So they hope to keep this game close. I think it starts with our bench. I think Corey Kispert is a game where I want to see him definitely hit them shots, man. Definitely be aggressive on the three-point line. And, Bilal definitely be a dog. And we'll see on Johnny Davis how many minutes. But, again, two guys that I think that they need to start giving minutes to, especially after the deadline. Eugene Emery and Jared Butler. They have put in quality minutes every time they get minutes. 3 to 5 minutes per game, and they're putting quality minutes. So I definitely want to see more from them. So getting back into it, guys, my prediction, I think this is an easy win for the Thunder over the Wizards at home in DC. So we're going to go ahead and roll from there. I definitely appreciate you guys, man. It's going to be a long year, but look, me and my guy, Ed, man, we are definitely dedicated to giving you guys content, man, and definitely chopping up with you guys and keeping it positive, right? Because we know it's a rebuild. It's gonna be a long rebuild. But look, here at Locked On Wizards, man, we are here to rock with you guys, and we're ready for the long haul. So definitely rock with us, man. We definitely appreciate you guys, man, because without you guys, we don't have the success that we've had on this channel. I mean, this channel has grown so much since I came on here and joined forces to become the best backcourt in DC with my guy, the real Ed Oliver. And it's been a pleasure. Definitely pleasure not only working with Ed, but rocking with you guys every single day. So definitely looking forward to the next time we do a video. But again, my guy, the real Oliver, will be doing the live recap on Monday. I will be at the game. So again, if you plan on attending the game, let me know on Twitter and we will meet and greet, man, and definitely chop it up. So I'm going to go ahead and call it there. Again, the Washington Wizards do play the OKC Thunder Monday night in DC. So tune in, show your support, and let's try to play hard, man. Let's try to get some effort out of these guys, man. So Locked On has launched the first ever national sports 24/7 streaming channel on YouTube. Locked On Sports Today is here for you 24/7, covering the top sports stories of the day with a look at experts of the Locked On Plus on national shows covering every league. Go to Locked On Sports Today on YouTube and subscribe to the first ever national sports 24/7 streaming channel. On the YouTube side, like, subscribe. If you're not a member of Locked On Wizards, man, definitely consider, man. Like I said, we have fun on here. We are definitely hitting you guys up with the up-to-date, any transactions, any news with the team, and definitely live recaps after the game for 99% of the time. Usually Fridays, it varies, and on weekends, it definitely varies. But most of the time we are rocking with you guys live after each and mostly every regular season game. On the podcast side, if we earned it, 5-star review is much appreciated. So again, appreciate you guys, man. So hell to the Wizards and peace. See you guys later.